certainly linebacking has changed a little bit in Auburn, at least as far as defense and just football as well. More often you talk mainly just about 2 rather than 3 linebackers on the field at the same time. Not always the case. More so with that changing of the edge position becoming kind of a linebacker hybrid. That's why that change has been there. So it really comes down to this. There's going to be usually 2 of those guys out there. And here's the question we have this year, Austin. What do? You lost all of that talent, all of that leadership. I mean, we're talking about Austin Keys. We're talking about Eugene Asante, Dorian Mausi, who I think still to this day doesn't get enough credit for what he did at Auburn. He was consistently in the top 1 or 2 of tackles for Auburn last year and deserved more respect than he was given, in my opinion. They're all gone. But the big name, if we want to just start right here, that made his name last year. Common theme here, folks. When we talk about recruiting, it's not just about stars and rankings. It's about players getting on the field early and getting recognition and doing really well. DeMarcus Reddick. He's going to be a true sophomore. And I think right now, he's the guy you look at and go, at linebacker, we're all looking to you, kid. And that's a lot on your shoulders as a true sophomore. Robert Woodyard would also, I think, be the guy that's been here a little bit longer, and people have maybe expectations that this is the year he's going to get to shine as well. That's my proposition for 1 and 2, not necessarily a depth chart, but what do you think about that?
Well, like you said, it's changed so much at the linebacker position on what is in college athletics. You need guys who are a little bit more athletic, who can move, who can cover if they need to, but also lay the hits. And so, whether you're using 3 or 2 in any given formation, I think DeMarcus Riddick's going to be on the field. And like you said, probably in the middle with quarterbacking the defense and everybody looking to him. I agree with you on Robert Woodyard. I think he has experience. He's got probably the most reps out in the entire group and has the idea of what needs to happen on a given play. But similar to defensive line, from then on, it's kind of like there's all this talent. It looks all really good on paper, but how does everybody fit in? You had a couple transfers and that are highly regarded, but still young. And then you've got a couple guys who are coming out of the high school world that, like I said, very highly rated prospects, but how will they put it together on the field? I feel more secure about this group than I do the interior defensive line because you know what you have in Caleb or DeMarcus Riddick. As someone who got a lot of playing time for you and played at a really high level last year. So it'll be fascinating to see how it shakes out. I'm not super worried about it with Riddick and how he can manage these guys. I also really like I wrote it down. What's the LSU player's name? Xavier Atkins.
I was about to head there if you didn't already.
Yeah, still very young. So I think we all think a linebacker from LSU. Well, he's played in this league. He has. Still very young. And so I think that him only getting 3 tackles, but seeing a lot of game prep and a lot of game action at LSU in the SEC is big. And hopefully he takes that next step as in a more maybe established role at Auburn.
Yeah, let me add to that as well, because I think, yes, the story is this DeMarcus Riddick and Robert Woodyard's room right now, given some expectations around them, but you got to have some leadership and some experience on there. Xavier Atkins, yes, still young, but he has LSU SEC experience, at least in practicing, maybe some limited game stuff, but that counts for something in my opinion. So he's already gotten a couple nods and a couple mentions in early spring practice. Caleb Wheatland coming out of Maryland, I think as well, is going to be playing a lot of experience too, to kind of help shore up as these young leaders come to make the linebacker room their own. Other names for you to know: Elijah Melendez, who's just a beast of a human if you've ever seen him. Bryce Dees is also a freshman. There's many others as well that we just don't have time to go into, but I really think that's kind of how it shakes out in my mind for linebacker. You probably got DeMarcus and Robert Woodyard as your primary go-to guys. Right behind them, or right with them even, maybe just because of experience, Xavier Atkins and Caleb Wheatland, and then the other guys after that, however it shakes out. So there's a lot to be excited about with this linebacker room this year.
Is Elijah the one we put up his commit photo when he committed?
Is that what you were smiling about?
Yeah. I was like, wait a minute.
Yes. I was trying to go past it, and you're just...
I just couldn't quite remember.